Welcome back to your continuing live coverage of CES 2015 on BeTerrific at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got RICOH in the house, which is also Pentax. A lot of really cool stuff out of RICOH these days. First of all, this thing is unbelievable. A lot of noise you guys have been making with this. It's a DSLR, APS-C size sensor, 20 megapixels, and it's a very intelligent camera. It's got HDMI out, USB, and it's just really cool and it's lightweight, and I love that you're doing it in colors.
It's a little bit different looking camera, isn't it, than what you're used to?
Absolutely.
It's absolutely by design to attract a new customer into the interchangeable lens camera.
And I think the other part of it is that you were telling me is that, you know, you can shoot it manually, but you can also go with a scene, right? You can shoot it for a scene, and it will set all the parameters. So it's something where you can really learn what you're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing or don't want to know what you're doing, the camera can set all the parameters for you. If you want to do sports with fast action, if you want to shoot low light, if you want to shoot an HDR photo.
Absolutely. This is a camera that will grow with you, right? So this next generation of consumers, they may not be used to what is an aperture and a shutter speed and how do I get started. This camera brings it to the least common denominator. Choose a little icon of how you want to take a picture. I want to take it in low light or HDR. The camera automatically sets all the settings and optimizes the picture. Once you get comfortable with the camera, you can simply change modes to auto or program and all the way into a full manual mode where you can control everything in the camera yourself.
And it also does video, 1080 video.
Yep, full HD, 1080 video, and you can record those data files onto your memory card and put them into your social media, or you can connect it using HDMI out directly to your TV.
It's the Pentax KS1. What's the price on this?
Pentax KS1 is $749 with what we call it a kit lens, right? It's that entry-level lens. This particular camera I have is white, and it's got a matching white lens. The camera does come in 17 different colors.
17.
17, including black.
Well, I like the white. I actually think it'd be cool to have a camera that's like red. I've seen red from you guys, and like BeTerrific red would be cool. But white is cool too, and I think it's nice to have something that's not the same color as everybody has.
Yeah, and it's really the target on this is that millennial who's trying to get into photography. There's some features you've never seen on a DSLR before.
Like what?
Well, really simple things. Like you turn it on, and it lights up with LEDs. Now these LEDs are green because we're in still camera mode. If you turn it into video mode, it turns red. So it's real intuitive to know what mode you're in, and even when there's no light, you can see all of the settings.
Very, very cool. I like that a lot. What other features do we have on here that aren't in other DSLRs?
All right, so I'm going to give you kind of another one that some people think are funny and silly, but it's actually really useful.
No, this was silly until, except for it had BeTerrific red, so I like that. Until you told me that you could see it in the dark, and that became useful.
So here's one of the challenges, right? Taking a selfie with a DSLR is hard.
Yeah.
You can't really see what's in there. What we've done is we've been able to use some intelligent feedback from the sensor to drive these LED lights. And what happens is when you're doing a selfie and you're positioning this camera, it actually lights up, and depending on how many faces you have in the picture, that many LEDs light up. So if you have two subjects, you and your friend, when you get two, you know that you're framed perfectly and you can take that picture.
Wow, that's a great feature. And I don't think that's a silly feature. I think that's a great feature. Everybody wants to take a selfie now.
The only reason I say it's silly is there's a lot of us who grew up in the photo industry and we're used to this certain kind of, this is the way a camera should work, and this is really intended for somebody, well, that's getting into it. That's a different market.
I think the culture's changing. Professional photographers would sit here all day and say selfies are a joke and blah, 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 but they're fun. And if that's the camera you have that you're carrying around, why wouldn't you use it to take a selfie?
That's exactly right, and that's one of the pieces that we're finding, right? There's this big argument that the photo industry is in trouble because of the mobile phone. What's really happening right now is the mobile phone is helping getting people photo interested. Right. And then photo sharing sites like Instagram and 500 pixels, and I could go on all day long. People are interacting with photography more often, and it's really fueling the passion.
When are we going to see the technology that's in an iPhone put into a DSLR? And we've seen it a couple times from a couple of companies where they've used Android as an operating system for the camera. But I think if this technology hasn't been pushed far enough, and I think it could make a really great combination of taking the benefits of a computer or a tablet or a phone and putting that in with a DSLR, and because the apps that you can do things with on a phone or a tablet make it so much, they make the experience of photography on those devices so much better.
Yeah, the when is a hard question to answer, right? So we have things like connectivity and Wi-Fi.
Sure.
You know, a true smart camera, if you really wanted it that piece, really is then going to require a cellular radio in order to talk to a network.
Well, I mean, it could have a Wi-Fi chip. It doesn't need necessarily the cellular radio, but I'm talking about the other, like having apps and stuff like that. Or do you think that that's crazy? That's,
you know, no, it's not crazy at all. I think it's, you know, one step in the direction with things with us with our scene modes and being able to do effects.
And I love that idea.
And we can add to that over time, right? Those are things that can improve with firmware. Adding different systems to it, it's a logical next step. It's just not here yet.
Well, I really like this KS1. I think it's awesome, and you're getting a lot of attention on it, and it's really cool. It's lightweight, it's compact, and I actually like getting the camera smaller and smaller. We've seen the Theta. You've got it here today, but we've seen it at Engadget Expand. But I'm really excited about the Theta. I've yet to.
Can I give you that to hang on to?
Oh,
or?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm sorry. Go on with it.
No. Just go right here. Yeah. Right next to my white Wowie Electro kit.
Hey, look at that.
Perfect.
Fits in perfectly.
Exactly. Look, we'll catty corner it so people can still see it a little. There you go. And the Theta is really, really awesome. We played with it at Engadget Expand. I've yet to take it out for a real test spin, and I'd really love to. But I love the idea of 360 video and photos, and the idea of taking a selfie that actually incorporates everything. We talked about that a lot at Engadget Expand, being at a concert, and you and I take a picture of us. We also get the band in the crowd.
Yeah. So for those of you who have not seen it, I'll just show you a real quick piece on here. Got to kind of excuse the subject a little bit, but this is a selfie that I took in our booth just a few steps from here. The magic of doing a 360-degree image is you don't have to frame the shot. So once I take it, I know I have a selfie, but I can reframe that shot afterwards. What's great though is I can actually turn it around and look all the way around. So to your point, if I had my friends with me or my favorite band out there, I can zoom it around, I can look up to the ceiling, I can look down to the floor, and I can see everything. If I wanted to really take this picture, instead of it being a vertical picture, I'm like, I wish I would have done that as a horizontal, I simply turn the device, and now I can reframe it, and I've got a horizontal selfie.
It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. How much is the Theta?
Theta's just $299.
And it's got 8 gig memory, I think, on board. Is that correct?
Yep, that's it.
And how long's the battery life?
Battery life on it, well, because you're not running it all the time, we'll just say 250 images, right? It's hard to put that in minutes or hours or what have you.
I really like this camera. I've seen a lot of 360 cameras, but I like this because it's easy to use. It's kind of that action sports camera approach. Just a button, it's fun, it's got fun colors, and it's easy to use, and it looks really good.
Yeah, so the camera itself only has 3 buttons on it, to your point. And you push a power button, and you're ready taking pictures.
Are we going to do it?
We'll get ours running right here. Jeez. We got it all.
That's awesome. And I like how you can flatten it out and print it out, and you can do all sorts of stuff. You can post it to all sorts of social networks. And
yeah, an easy way to share it right now is for me to simply just do a screen grab on the camera itself. There we go. It's now in my photo stream. I can text that out to anybody, and off they go. I can also push the file up to the network and post a link onto Facebook and Twitter. You can go back online and you can interact with the picture all the way through.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. The Theta, it's $200, and this is at any photography store. Also, I think they sell it at Best Buy too. Is that correct?
We're not in Best Buy yet,
okay.
But maybe being on BeTerrific will help us get in there.
Hopefully. I hope so. I want it to be easy for people to get.
We're
Amazon?
Amazon, yes. Yep. We're working on expanding distribution and finding partners who really want to try to grow an innovative category.
I love it. It's very cool. And this little beast, I'm very excited about. First of all, this is an action sports camera extraordinaire. It's got a 1/4-20 mount already on the bottom. It looks like a tank. We've got an LCD screen. Walk me through that.
Yeah. So what we've done a little bit different with this camera is we've really followed the design architecture of our WG series, which is our outdoor. We're in our 17th generation, so we're certainly not new to it. But what we've done in the past is we've made cameras that were cameras that also did video. What we did here is we were able to take all that technology, miniaturize it down, put in here a small LCD, and make this a dual purpose camera. So it is a digital camera, 14 megapixels up to 10 frames per second, or you simply change the modes over to the video mode, and you can go into a live video shooting mode. To your point, it's got your mount on the bottom. Because we use an open industry standard mount, any mounting systems, we sell ours and others, so you're not stuck into a proprietary mount, and off you go and shoot. But the greatest advantage to the consumer is, now I don't have a single purpose device. Our competitors in this space primarily only focused on the video side of things, and other than that, it doesn't really have much of a use. Quite candidly, it sits on a shelf. What we want to do is make a product that, if you're an active family, a young mom, you got kids, you can really get the best of both worlds, still images and video.
And you don't have to worry about it taking a beating, clearly. It's got a microphone built in, I guess.
Yep.
And it's water resistant?
No, it's not water resistant, it's waterproof. So
it's waterproof?
It's waterproof, does not require an enclosure. So we have waterproof pickups or microphones on it. It is fully submersible to 10 meters.
Wow.
The little piece there you're taking off is actually a little piece of glass that when you are going underwater, you simply take off this ring, you put another one on that has a flat bevel, so you don't get reflections in the water.
Wow.
Okay, so this way you've got the best of both worlds, underwater and above water. Like I said, because you have external microphones and they're waterproof, you don't get that muffled sound of a camera that's inside of a plastic enclosure.
Right.
So the sound experience is very rewarding.
Okay, so there's this competitor to this that I can't stand because I find their product very subpar, and I find that it never works. I've destroyed a couple of them out of frustration, which I probably shouldn't say on air, but I did. How easy is this to operate? Like, I want to, okay, it's off, I want to start shooting with it.
Yeah, so super easy to operate. Power button on the side, and you just hold it for 2 seconds, and then it powers up. Push record, and I am now recording a video. We're in it 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Push the fat button on the side, and it stops recording.
Now that's what I'm talking about. And then you've got playback on this side and modes and stuff like that.
Absolutely, you got your playback and your settings on the other side. So if you have heavy gloves on, you're out skiing, you just need to get to it. It's also got Wi-Fi capabilities, so
I saw that.
Sync it off to your mobile device.
And then it has HDMI out as well?
That's correct. So on the back side here, I'll open it up.
So literally, could we use this on set? I mean, we could plug it into the switcher?
So it's HDMI out, but it is not...
it's not live out?
No, actually it is live out. You could. You could plug this in. I haven't tried it yet, so of course,
can we try it? Let's try it.
Well,
I'm going to put you on the spot. If it doesn't work, it's okay. We've got an HDMI micro cable around somewhere.
Yeah,
in fact, there's one in my backpack, Adam, in the long zipper compartment in my backpack. Here we go.
I guess if you're going to be terrific, you might as well take a gamble.
We're going to try it. We're going to take a gamble. Now, look, if it doesn't work, it's okay. It doesn't have to work. It'd be an added bonus feature if it works. Does it have a microphone input that you could use an external microphone to?
Does not have a microphone input because we don't want to jeopardize the external the integrity of the camera and have a water leak into a connection. So. And
then it takes a memory card, or it's got internal
micro SD. So it's right over here by the cable. You just pop the card in and out of there.
Oh, so they're working on plugging it in, and here. So this is how much does this go for?
$249.
That's it.
That's it.
1080p.
1080p.
And then here, I'm giving them this device. We're going to see. They're going to hook it up.
Full HD.
Yeah, full HD, 1080p.
Yep.
And it does 30 frames?
30 frames per second. You can get up to 120 frames per
second.
Can
you really?
But,
that's great.
But there's always a disclaimer in it, right? It's a lower resolution.
Okay.
Right, so you can get into higher frame rates, 60 at 720, and then I think it goes, I forget exactly what it is. I think it's VGA at 120 frames per second.
I'm throwing these guys for a real loop. Let's see if we can get it to connect. It'd be cool. If not, then it's okay. It doesn't have to. It'd just be cool to see.
Get a live feed off of the off the camera. Power's on the side, and you just press and hold it for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, we're in playback mode right now.
Oh, okay.
So let me ask you one last question. What's the lens? What's the
So 28 millimeter wide angle.
Yeah, and is it like a 170 wide angle or 140 or what? Do you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's going to be. Let me double check that spec for you. I want to say it's a 140, but let's double spec.
It is very wide, by the way.
Yeah, it's very wide because you don't need the enclosure. You can simply just.
That's very cool. You wanted to tell me one other thing.
Yeah, I forgot what that was.
I screwed you up. I will tell you that the Theta matches my shoes. Do you notice that? Look at that.
There you
Pretty
go.
cool.
This is
The
the yellow version, and we
I
have
love
it in pink,
Yeah.
blue, and white.
Very cool. No red. No BeTerrific red.
No BeTerrific red, but we'll put it on the planning
You
agenda.
should. You should.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with you. Thank you for coming out. This is really exciting and awesome, and I think all the stuff is great. You know, it's interesting. Pentax, when I was a kid, was like one of the biggest brands, and then you know, RICOH's a great company as well. And I think in the last few years, you guys have had this amazing renaissance and resurgence. And I was at a toy store during the holidays, and there were people like 4 or 5 people asking the toy store if they sold Pentax cameras, which to me was like bonkers. They, of course, they didn't, but like 4 people came in separately while I was there asking for Pentax cameras, and I don't know why they were asking at a toy store, but it was very interesting.
You know, things like the WG and the Theta, these are products that are relevant to a new distribution channel, right? The traditional camera stores, people want traditional camera products there. That's where they kind of go, and that's what they're expecting to pick up there. But what happens over time when you start introducing new technologies, it requires a new channel as well to service our customers.
All right, so I don't think it worked. Did it not work? Okay, it didn't work for the live feed, but I think that also might have been some of the settings, or maybe not, but it's okay. It doesn't have to. We just want to know if it did.
Yeah.
That's all.
Did you get playback?
We did get playback.
You get playback, but not a live feed.
Right.
Okay.
So it's very cool device. I like it. It's very rugged, and I think the price point is perfect. I think that's what the price point needs to be.
I think it is too, and once you put in the remote connectivity to the product, and the fact that it's also a 14 megapixel still image camera, you don't have to have a single use device.
That's great. That's really, really great. I love what you guys are doing, RICOH and Pentax, and I know that when I hang out at Adorama and I do in-store appearances, a lot of people are paying attention to Pentax these days too. So I look forward to doing tech reviews on this stuff and getting my hands on it and you know, taking it through the paces. It's really awesome stuff though.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot of step-by-step, right? So RICOH was in the camera business years ago. Pentax missed really a generation and a half of consumers in that transition to film to digital.
Yeah.
They were always playing catch up. When we purchased Pentax, right, RICOH purchased Pentax as a company, now we can start to infuse RICOH technology into Pentax products, and that's why you're seeing this exponential growth in our technology, our reliability, our service, everything that encompasses a real, true camera company.
And Sarah teased me. She showed me the Pentax 645, and where is it? Sarah, where's the 645? This is amazing. I don't know if you guys have done it yet, but we shoot some stunning video. We also have a video production company, and I've talked to her about. I'd love to see what the medium format video can look like and how good it can look, because I think it would be so stunning. I know you've done some tests, but I would love to get my hands on that. So it's just. And I'm not, I know some viewers are going to say, hey, he's looking for like a tech review or a freebie, or he's begging. No, I really would love to just see. I love technology. That's part of why we're here. That's part of why you're watching. I would love to see what this thing can do when you put it through the paces. That's, you know.
Yeah, we'll certainly get one in your hand. Maybe we'll come back and just do a whole segment on it. We'll do some field testing and what have you.
That would be awesome.
The amazing part about medium format video is not as much
Nobody else is doing it. That's
well,
what the amazing part is.
Well, that's true. That's number one. But the other part is, it gives a cinematic look that's not obtainable in APS-C or even full frame cameras.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my feeling, is that if you look at medium format photos, how great and stunning they look, you can absolutely almost always tell a medium format photo from a regular photo.
Yep.
What can this do for filmmaking? I would love to know that. So I thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. And I'd love to have you come back on, and I'd love to check that out, so we'll definitely have to do that.
Absolutely, I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
That is RICOH and Pentax. They're doing great things over there, and got some really innovative new products. I'm Michael Artsis. This is BeTerrific's live continuing coverage of CES 2015 from the Las Vegas Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got a whole lot more shows, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.